Okay, this is After Hours, and the last of the very last of this short-lived special of the most difficult games to play of all times. And the last one we're actually looking at is coming from gamingbolt.com, and this was a 2018 article that we're just going to look at. So these are 15 difficult PS1 games you need to play. Ha! Y'all got a death wish, not me. These old school classics were fun, but rarely pulled any punches when it came to difficulty. So looking back on the PlayStation era, it doesn't just fill our hearts with joy at the memories of Final Fantasy, Resident Evil, Metal Gear Solid, and Parappa the Rapper. It also reminds us of some of the most difficult titles in gaming, games that strained our patience and sense of enjoyment for years. Let's go through 15 of these titles, shall we? And mostly, these are titles that I have I've heard of them, but I never played them. Because that's when I really went to playing RPGs a lot. Starting with 15, Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey. Abe's Odyssey is darkly imaginative, but also fiercely tough. Not only can Abe be gunned down quickly, which guards are more than happy to do, but there's no small amount of traps, obstacles, and disasters waiting to happen. Furthermore, Abe has to go out of his way to save his fellow Mudokons. That is, unless a good ending isn't a priority for the player. Gee, I wonder what else they're tagged with. Anyway, I got nothing to say because I've never played the game. Moving on. Number 2, Heart of Darkness. Light battles darkness in this game about Andy striving to save his dog. Wait, what? What does that sound like? Blaster Master, of course. Unfortunately, the controls aren't always on Andy's side, whether it's the inconsistent nature of his double jumps, pulling off running jumps, or simple positioning. Even if many of the jumps aren't outright torturous, battling the controls is a challenge unto itself. Oh, and don't forget, there's a very specific way to do everything, so keep trying and dying until you find it. Therefore, I've never played this game, and thank goodness I have never wanted to play this game. Moving on. Number 3, Grand Theft Auto. The GTA series isn't one that's typically associated with being difficult, barring some aggravating side quests here and there. The very first GTA is a real dicey affair, though, with numerous difficulty spikes in the entire experience. Camera troubles, one-hit deaths, and a set number of lives, and so on, only make it more aggravating. There's only one game. Yeah, there's only one game I've actually ever played, and that I'm still doing in as we speak, and that's Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. Because if you don't know, you basically play as an undercover agent who has to work on both sides of the law while trying to bring about peace, while at the same time just break these fools off something fierce. Trust me, when it comes in April, the Let's Play, I've already put the parts up, but when they show in April, you will see just how difficult it really is the second time around than the first time. Moving on. Oh, number 4. This is one that I actually have, and I've actually seen somebody still doing. And oh yes, the person that's doing this, that's doing an LP of it, yeah, she has the right idea of wanting to take a break from this game, because it will indeed try you. And mind you, it's the spiritual successor of Landstalker. Alundra is a game of puzzles, of lateral thinking, but more importantly, it's about patience. Whether it's lighting torches or platforming across blocks, the game puts you to that test and then slaps a time limit on top because screw you. The Golden Falcons alone can cause extreme frustration, but dealing with the platforming and the bosses makes for a tough experience. Like I said, these are one of those games that I actually had for PlayStation. And let me tell you, it's nothing further from the truth, because I'm like 10, 11 parts into watching the Let's Play, and I've seen this person trying to get through each part of the game. And she's trying to not use save states. She's trying her damnedest, bless her heart. I really do mean it. She's really doing her damnedest. Because the game in itself, as I stated, is the successor of Landstalker. I mean, look at the character yourself. It looks like Nigel from Landstalker, for God's sakes. But the game really is all about puzzles. It really is. And you can't play this blind. You have to have a guide with you. No lies. Just, you really need to have a guide just so you know where you're going and how to deal with most of the puzzles in that game. Excuse me. Because, part of me is saying, you know what, you should try Alundra, since you remember it. Like, yeah, I remember it too. I remember I got stuck. Almost like with Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. Yeah, no, I'm not going to put myself through that ringer. I'd rather see somebody get through it than me trying to get through it myself on some occasions. That's all it is. Moving on. Number 5. Crash Bandicoot. Naughty Dog's first Crash Bandicoot was tough enough that a dynamic difficulty to tone things down if players died too often was in place, though the recent remakes feel tougher with how the hitboxes operate. The first game is still incredibly unforgiving due to the precise jumps required. Of course, it's not like Crash can take tons of damage either, and don't get me started on some of the bosses. Truth be told, I was never interested in the series. However, I've watched Nufi Bonga do the series. So, it just goes to show you, okay, it may seem enjoyable to others, but for me to play it, no, it's just not going to be, I'm just not it. I'm just not the one. I'm sorry. I mean, there are certain games I will do, but granted, I will not get hooked on that shit no matter what it is. I mean, that goes with, say, doing horror titles. It's like, if I choose to do a horror title, it probably won't get noticed. But if someone were to give me a horror title, oh, it'll get noticed, but how very often am I going to get noticed for playing it? So it goes without saying, the only way I do it is you not bug me about it. And the only way you not bug me about it is what I'm doing now. Don't fuck with it. It's working for me. It's not working against me. I'm actually getting more time than ever imagined now, since I'm doing this new scheduling of mine that I start quite recently, just to get everything out a lot sooner than later. So yeah, Crash Bandicoot is one of those games I'm just not going to play. Don't even ask. Same with Spyro. Not interested in that. Darius Gaiden. I have this for Sega Saturn. Side-scrolling shoot-'em-up Darius Gaiden is fairly typical when it comes to bullet hell games. However, it throws tough bosses, screens full of projectiles, homing laser attacks that are difficult to dodge, and a dynamic difficulty. Yes, you heard right. A dynamic difficulty for a shoot-'em-up where dying will revert the ship back to a weaker state. The difficulty further depends on the stage number, so don't count on the game getting that much easier. Well, let me tell you. I handled the game just well, and I have the game. I say I played the Saturn version, and of course I did the arcade version on my channel. So therefore, you're just scared of doing shoot 'em ups. That's all. Some people do get scared of shoot 'em ups. Me, I don't mind doing shoot 'em ups. To me, they're therapeutic. Moving on. Number 7, Rayman. If you haven't played the first Rayman, then rejoice. Fairly easy in the early going. Rayman's difficulty spikes with insane platforming sections that require very quick timing in levels that are seemingly endless. One can go for a long time without any additional lives and trying to navigate all of this while finding the hidden cages in another headache altogether. Also, Rayman doesn't disperse a whole lot of checkpoints, thus making you repeat annoying stretches of platforming if you make one mistake. It reminds me of a game I have on PS4 as well on Steam, and let me pull it up right now. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Yeah, Rocky sent me this game. I have no idea why. But right now we're not looking at that. We're actually going up to the R section where you see right here Rayman Legends. Basically, Rayman Legends is nothing short than insanity. And as you can tell, I played only 50 minutes of it. Just because, I just wanted to make sure it ran. So I tried it out for myself. And this is another request that I am going to do, but I can't say when I'm going to do it. Moving on. Fear Effect 1. I've never played this game, although I've heard tales about it. There's nothing really special about the difficulty in either Fear Effect 1 or 2. It's just that they're very hard games. Fear Effect especially demands picture-perfect gameplay. Couldn't figure out that one puzzle? Instant death. Something which you actually carried over into the underwhelming Fear Effect Sedna. At least the visual style was strong throughout. You know what it reminded me of, though? Onimusha. The very first Onimusha game that I've ever played. Onimusha Warlords. Slider puzzle. You were timed in said slider puzzle. You couldn't get the correct answer in time, you're dead. Basically, I don't do well with games that just happen to kind of just become a terrible hybrid of, say, action and death traps. That's just a big fat no to me, and I do not like that. Next, number 9. Another game I've never played, and most of these games that I'm looking at, never played because they were never in my area. Tenchu, Stealth Assassins. Imagine a stealth game with ninja. Sounds fun, right? Now make it so that items are lost on death. Tenchu Stealth Assassins embody this idea while also providing next to no information on what to do. There's a lot of trial and error necessary in order to proceed, but at least there are only 10 levels to suffer through. If I'm really wanting to suffer through something, I'd rather be going through Way of the Samurai. At least I know where I'm going with Way of the Samurai than, say, Tenchu Stealth Assassins. Or give me another game that could possibly be just as bad or just as better than what is provided here. Go on. I'll wait. Moving on. Number 10. I've seen this one before. Einhanda. Square Enix wasn't all about Final Fantasy in the PS1 days. It also released the underrated shoot-'em-up Einhanda. Its futuristic atmosphere and fast action mask its incredible difficulty, predicting where enemies would appear, dodging attacks, and enduring against bosses are but a few tasks to overcome. I've actually played a bit of that. It really is something different. I kind of wish Square Enix would actually get out of the phase that they need to push out older games out. They need to push this out. No, you have good titles. What you need to do. It's like a game I'm streaming right now. And, instead of playing Tolkien, I'm playing another game called Drakengard. In Japanese, it's called Dragon. I'm in chapter 5 as we speak. I might be streaming a little bit later today since it's Sunday. And I'm putting these videos up a little bit sooner, like probably after I get up. So, just so you know. Dragon's Lair, of course. For all the talk of difficulty in today's games, very few games could compare to Dragon's Lair. Badlands, Space Ace, Sewer Shark. Originally released for the arcades, being ported to PS1, This was the game to push your sanity. You have to know exactly when to attack, when to dodge, where to position Dirk the Daring, and so on. On top of that, the timing for some moves, like ducking, was tough to pull off. At least the game's visual style and depth animation provided some entertainment in the midst of all the suffering. Time Gal, Road Blaster, aka Road Avenger, Cobra Command. If you never heard of them, they're on the Sega CD. Dragon's Lair, Space Ace, and other such titles I have mentioned, they're all on Sega CD. And the one thing I found so difficult was the following. That you play a game based off FMV, it's gonna be difficult. Especially when the frame rate is lowered. I've tried playing through Road Avenger. Let me tell you, the response on that game on Sega CD, it's horrid. It's like you press right and it's flashing right. It's like, what do I have to do? Do I have to boom, 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 boom? Do I have to do this right? Like hold right or just like tap right? And I'm trying to go right, left, right, left, right, left. Speed up, brake. Speed up, brake. And you have to be spot on with your button presses. That is stressful within itself. No lies. Just no lies at all. Moving on. Number 12. Valkyrie Profile. I shouldn't say a friend. My buddy 40 Warrior has tried to go through this game on his channel. I have no clue if he's ever going to continue the game or whatnot, but it was an interesting Let's Play to be sure, and you had to do this game a certain way in order to beat it the proper way. It's easy to forget just how difficult Valkyrie Profile actually was. Characters that aren't utilized won't gain experience with hard difficulty, ensuring everyone joins at level 1. The difficulty starts spiking in the Tower of Lézard Valiev, and trying to earn the A ending will drive anyone without a guide insane. Hilariously, easy mode can actually be tougher since the best equipment is only found in hard mode dungeons. Plus completing more battles, which hard mode has, means more experience points overall. It's like with Konami. Konami was very sneaky with this. Bayou Billy, Mad City, is the best example. What we got over here as Bayou Billy was the harder version of Mad City, which was the easier version, in which we should have got Mad City over Bayou Billy. Because if you're trying to basically blaze through the game, therefore, you shouldn't have too much trouble trying to kill off a boss with almost all your bullets still intact. You should not be wasting an metric fuck ton of bullets trying to kill one fucking boss. Especially in the shooter level. The Zapper light gun level, I should say. But it is what it is, though. So, I can't say anything about it. I've never played this game, so therefore, I should count myself lucky or fortunate to be not playing a game like that. Moving on. Kingsfield. Never played this game, and I'm not going to start. Before From Software got its hands dirty with Demon Souls and Dark Souls, it was known for Kingsfield, and infamously for Echo Knight. Much of the Souls atmosphere can be seen in these games, though their actual difficulty came from the exploration aspect. Some levels were maze-like, and if lost, it can be incredibly hard to find your bearings. There isn't much depth to the combat or enemies, but tons of traps lay waiting to kill you. Sounds like Trapped. Or otherwise known as Tecmo's Deception. That's what it almost sounds like. Number 14 on the list. If we can see what 14 is. Darius. What's worse than a bullet hell shoot 'em up in the Darius series? One that also features such quirks like an unlocked frame rate that can throw one off. Otherwise, many of the same annoyances apply. Then why talk about it? Tons of projectiles, attacks that can be nigh impossible to dodge, and so on. Sometimes obstacles can blend in with the background art, thus leading to frustrating deaths. As long as you can actually see where every shot is coming from. Every shot is coming from. With 9 difficulty settings in total, Darius will definitely do its part to challenge you. Combat Zen is always ready at a moment's notice. You're wondering how, in such a way, I do not give a fuck. That's how. Combat Zen. Usually, whenever I'm in Combat Zen mode, usually games that are quote-unquote challenging to others are not to me, because deep down I play so many games that basically it's like, it's nothing to me. That's what it is. It's just really, it's nothing to me. It's, as many games as I've played on my channel, be it about views and whatnot, I don't give a fuck about it. I mean, if I make more than 2 views, that's good. If I make more than like at least 10 views, that's something else. But most importantly, I'm not even thinking about the views. I'm thinking about me trying to get through this one damn game. If I get a comment, that's great. Because most times, if it's not really saying, oh hey, if it's not being connected to me in some way, fine. I'm not going to answer it. I'm just going to just nod and acknowledge it. Otherwise, for a game like this, shit, it's basically Darius. Come on now. Swear. Pussies. That's all I can say. Just fucking pussies. And the last one. A game you will never see me play on this channel. Riven. I know someone who might. Welcome to Riven, where waffle iron might as well be a forbidden term. Animal sounds must be memorized, and many puzzles have anywhere between hundreds to trillions of possible combinations. Of course, there's only one solution, and even that can get randomized for many puzzles when starting a new game. And let me tell you, if that's part of a series that I've only seen one of, and God help me if I ever did something like that, I would just fucking fall asleep, excuse me. I really would. I mean, it's almost 5 here, so that's why. Really, I would not, for the life of me, ever play something like this, because it reminded me too much of Harry Potter. Why? Because while some find Harry Potter somewhat fascinating and otherwise, me, it puts me to sleep. That's what Riven will do. It, like Mist, will put me to sleep. It's not because it's boring. It just has this thing about I'm supposed to figure what out? Fuck that, I want to go to sleep. It's on an island. So the first thing that I think about an island is, oh, hey, I'm going to find a place I'm going to lay my head down. I'm going on vacation. Fuck you, I'm out. I mean, all these games that have been said, in short, or for what it's worth, not in short, for what it's worth. For what it's worth, people don't know what the fuck is difficult. Seriously. Even these so-called reviewers say this is difficult. And I'm thinking to myself, is it really that difficult? You need to play a difficult game. Here's my question. Why? To me, that is like, that's the killjoy right there. So why should I need to play these difficult games? You should, because why? I don't need to be popular to play a difficult ass game. When I play a game on my channel, I don't do it to show it off. Because my skill will never compare to anybody else who can probably do worse than me. Or they can do better than me. I don't fucking care. The thing is, you ask me to do a game, I'll do it. Or rather, if you don't ask me to do a game, I'll still do it anyway. And it's not from just, from Nintendo to PS1. Hell, I got games on PS2. On PS4. I got games on 360 that are probably longer than that. But it carries its own weight of being challenging. I'd rather have something that's moderate as far as challenge goes than something that will put me in the hospital just because of stress. And I don't need to stress myself out on a fucking video game that really, after everything, after all that is said and done, what I just want to do is just play a game for a couple hours and forget that the world around me actually exists. I want to be invincible. I want to tear ass all over a battlefield. I want those around me to cheer me on in battle, to fear me in battle. So whether I'm carrying a sword or a gun or whatever the fuck I'm carrying, yeah, know this. I'm playing this for my own benefit. I don't need to bump up difficulty just to make it harder for me to get through. I just want to play the game and forget everything that's going on in the world. That's all I'm really about. It's like, shit, we got so many problems now that really, we just need to get away from it. We got 999 plus problems out in the world. And the last thing I need to do, as far as everything else is concerned, I need to really just play something hard in which I have to just freak the fuck out on? No, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need that. And I'll tell you another thing. You play a game with cheats, fine. You play a game with cheats. But don't feel like, as a gamer or a Let's Player, I don't like using cheats. Like, bullshit. If you're not doing it to beat the game, you're doing it wrong. That's how I see it. You use whatever means necessary to get through the game that's only reasonable for the player itself and not for anything, not for anyone else. I feel that sometimes there's some Let's Players out there that tend to forget when you do whatever project that you're doing, please remember, you're doing this for yourself. You're not doing this for whatever. Because people can come and go, but man, once you play a game and once you get through it, that's all you need to do. Just let a sigh of relief, give yourself a break, give yourself a pat on the back, and just prepare for the next one when you feel ready to do another one. And I speak to those old and new. Please, if you're doing a Let's Play, okay, first off, please stop kicking yourself in the ass. Please. Please. Don't do that to yourself. I know a few people that do that on YouTube. That kick himself in the ass just because, oh hey, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. It's like, I'm hearing I don't like this, or I'm an idiot, or whatever else. Don't do that to yourself. Just chill. Do the best you can. Nobody's gonna fault you for it. I, for one, ain't gonna fault you for it. Shit. Because I'm still one of those old school gamers that believes use whatever necessary to beat the game. Because fuck trying to be perfect. Perfect ain't gonna get you nowhere. You do what you can, as long as you get to see the credits, as long as you see those two words that you want to see at the very end of every project, the end, that should matter. That's the goal. That's the name of the game. To get the start to finish. Anything else is secondary. those are my words of wisdom to those who are listening. Like I said, I'm not showing off. If I am showing off, I'm showing off the game. That's what I usually do on my channel. For those who have never seen this game, seen certain games before, that's why I show it off. I show it off through Let's Plays just because I want to beat the game. And I'm curious. I'm just piquing my own curiosity for such oddities that I sometimes find on my own time. So there you go. And with that, folks, that'll do it for this video series of the 15 hardest games of all time coming from NES to PlayStation 1. I'm pretty sure there are more out there, but I'm not really interested in finding out any more than what is already out there. Expand your mind, people. Try something other than something difficult. Please, for your own sake, not for mine. Anyway, I'll see you next time with more great content. So, until then, I've been your friendly Tenkaichi, PI7, and I am out. I'll see you next time.